Hey guys, this is Jay Calder with Jay Unboxing here, giving you a personal prediction for Artur Beterbiev versus Anthony Yarde. And of course, this is just my take. Your predictions can be left down in the comments section below. It's a pretty interesting fight, at least in terms of when it might end in any event. So would love to hear your picks, your bets, all that good stuff down in the comments section below. And a little bit of fight info here. We have Artur Beterbiev taking on Anthony Yarde. This will be taking place at Wembley Arena in London, England, because of course, if you're fighting in London, that's the only arena you're going to be fighting in, apparently. This will be airing live on BT Sport across the pond and here in America on ESPN. It is in the light heavyweight division with Beterbiev's IBF, WBC, and WBO titles on the line. This could be a very good fight for the first month of the new year. We have two very solid punchers, one of them in Beterbiev with a very good KO ratio, but both with 80+ KO ratios. So certainly some very good punchers in the fight with three of the major belts at 175 pounds at stakes. I'm not saying it's the biggest fight 2023 will bring us, hopefully, but it's a fun one that has some potential to be explosive, and that's always good. Of course, for the winner, you have potential showdowns with fellow titleist at that point, Dimitri Bivol, in a unification bout, or even the likes of Canelo Alvarez if he decides to ever go back up to 175. So tons on the line. So does Beterbiev keep his KO streak going, or will Yarde pull off the early upset of the year candidate and make right on his second chance at a world title? Let's break this one down. We'll start with Beterbiev here. For Beterbiev to win, I think you want to keep the right hand quick. Yarde might be a bit quicker, just a hair. So throw that straight right fast, not hard. Short shots. Don't make it have to be so perfectly explosive or perfectly heavy-handed. You're heavy-handed. That comes without really having to try. The shots will hurt once they get there. Just get them there faster. This will be to your benefit if you're Beterbiev. Throw it over that jab of Yarde as well to kind of catch him as he's pulling the glove back. He can forget to defend in that spot in particular, so if you can take advantage of it by keeping your shots short, quick, and straight line right down to right down the pipe to the point, it will be all the better to be able to catch him off guard and land with authority. I would also say cut off the ring. This will matter especially if and when Yarde looks to kind of sit back and box a bit more and try to counter a bit more, perhaps even getting onto the ropes a bit more. He can do that in fights, especially if he's not having as easy a time coming forward and landing the way he wants to. If Yarde is sitting back, trying to counter, you have to corner him. Cut off the ring with that underrated foot movement that you have. Pin him back. Then you'll jab your way in. Use that stiff power jab to kind of push him back. Line up your own shots, including that right hand you'll be looking to score with. The left hand, of course, of yours in hook fashion works really well also, so make sure you get that going too. That also can be used to kind of line him up and keep him in the space you're looking to keep him in if you use that hook as a way of just kind of taming him, so to speak. If at first he looks to come forward, use that jab and that kind of physicality on the inside to kind of force him back and then get to the work you're looking to get to. And I would finally say drag Yarde into deep water. Yarde has faded in the past. I don't think it's much of a secret here. You need to see if he still will have those stamina issues as the fight progresses. Make it worse with a body attack, of course. That's obviously going to sap some of the energy, some of that speed. Like I said, it will make it less of an advantage for him. So attacking the body does a couple of things for you anyway. Make sure to do that as you're trying to drag him deep if necessary. You have to make him have those doubts if the fight begins to wear on him that it's going to be tough if it goes down the stretch. So this is a way of doing that by kind of really applying that pressure and forcing him into a tougher than expected fight. Throughout his career, he only averages 3.5 rounds a fight. So make him feel that lack of depth to his fights, especially in meaningful fights. This will be a way of doing that by kind of putting it on him as the fight progresses and making him feel the overall length of the contest. Now, switching over to Yarde. For Yarde to win, I think you want to get an early start. Beterbiev can start slow. You need to take advantage of that. You're going to have to do that by trying to press, come forward a little bit more. Maybe discourage him from coming in if you can land a decent shot. This benefits you several ways. For starters, you can get some early points. But also, if you're able to do that, it might mean you get the benefit of the doubt in those closer rounds in your home country with the scoring. It's not the prettiest part of the game, but it's just the truth. You have to use these kinds of metrics to your advantage. If you're able to pick up some early points and then just keep it competitive as the fight progresses, you might get the benefit of the doubt. This also, if you're coming forward, might allow for you to land something meaningful, as Beterbiev has been dropped twice, and it's been in early portions of his fights. It's happened twice in his career. You're looking to make that a third time by pressing and coming forward early in the contest for sure. I would also say work the overhand right. At times, when Beterbiev commits to the attack too much, his hands can kind of stay out of place as he's just looking to put them together and land some of those combinations. Use those moments and that shot over the top to try and take advantage of it and score with a meaningful blow. You also have a decent arcing shot to begin with, so use it. It can generate a decent bit of power, at least potentially push him back, and then allow for you to kind of maneuver around the ring if you're even trying to come forward or if you're trying to box a bit more. And of course, if you can counter with it, which I think you will be countering in this fight sooner or later, the better. As Beterbiev may step in and try to overcommit and allow for you to tag him with that as a result, it could be a shot that I think has a potential to change this fight for you if you are Yarde. And finally, I would say countering, don't exchange. As I've mentioned, again, countering will probably be what you're looking to do in this fight, so you're going to want to make sure you get that going. But that doesn't mean that you get so overboard or kind of carried away that it becomes an exchange for you. In a pure exchange, you play into the hands of Beterbiev. Instead, feint, draw him into those traps and time that overhand shot that we mentioned, or jab him back and score, allowing you kind of time to reset and forcing him to reset. Also, use those angles to the side to not be cornered and allow for you to take shots at him while he's sort of out of position. But just make sure that you're doing so by being smarter with some of your action, a little more economical with some of your blows, countering, not exchanging, not giving him those easy openings, and allowing for you to have the best chance to land when he isn't. Well, in terms of my pick here, I'm not feeling too brave, so I'm going safe and picking Beterbiev. Yarde has about a puncher's chance is what I'd give him, especially early. However, Beterbiev can finish him in any round. Beterbiev has 3 stoppages of his 18 that have occurred in the 10th frame or later. Yarde hasn't recorded a stoppage after the 7th. So again, early he has a shot. If it does happen to go late, it's even more favorable to Beterbiev. So I think both eventually will be kind of mindful in these kind of opening frames, barring Yarde assigned to just go for it all in the beginning, which might benefit him potentially, but you never know. I think they will be mindful of one another's power in those first few rounds, but Beterbiev will begin to step in and land some more meaningful blows on Yarde as Yarde begins to move around. Might not land clean, but they will move him and back him up even when they land on the arms or the gloves. In the 4th or 5th, Yarde begins kind of busting up and will be dropped by a chopping right hand. Yarde might survive a bit, might even be a round or 2, but I think the follow-up pressure gets to him. He's cornered, tagged too clean, too much, and is dropped a final time to end the fight. Artur Beterbiev via mid-fight stoppage. And in terms of the betting odds here, we have Beterbiev as a very sizable favorite. It's closed up a little bit since this fight was announced, but for the most part, he is still a massive favorite at -900, with Yarde coming in at a +500. Not a great deal of value, in my opinion, in a Beterbiev pick here. Maybe you could parlay it with something else, but for the most part, those are pretty wide odds. I'd stay away from that. Of course, you like a long shot, or if you're a Yarde fan, +500 is certainly something that you could consider because you're getting pretty reasonable odds for it. Small to medium bet there, of course, would be the only thing that I'd be willing to lay. In terms of the over-unders, where you get things that are a little more interesting, it's set at 5.5 rounds, with the over coming in at a -135 and the under at a -105. So it's a very solid over-under. Over-under is where it's at for me. I can see both really taking place. It just kind of depends on your feeling. Me, probably if I had to pick between those two exactly, I might go over just a bit. But if in reality, I'd probably buy a round or 2 and take slightly less impressive odds that come with it and pick the under. Like I said, I'm picking a mid-fight stoppage, so that's kind of what I'm feeling as well. But in any event, those are your odds. And my prediction record is 1-1 with 1 exact because Stephen Shaw cannot commit himself to punches. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Who do you have in this fight? I'd love to hear your round predictions as well, because I think a lot of you will probably be picking Beterbiev, but when and how do you think he wins this fight, or Yarde for that matter? Please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter at jcalderon_JOB. You can email me at junboxing@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Also, be sure to check out junboxing.com for schedule, results, betting odds, news, rankings, all that good stuff. And as always, until next time.